You know, the butcher? The freaking nut job that goes around just chopping people up? Well, the feds or whatever heard that he's gonna be here today, so they set up a trap for him. This whole concert, it's a trap. They're watching all the exits, checking everyone that leaves. There's no way to get out of here.
How's it going, guys? Welcome back to my channel and time for another episode of Luke's Reviews. On today's video, M. Night Shyamalan is bringing us another suspenseful thriller, this time taking place entirely, or somewhat entirely, in the confines of a concert. This is my review of Trap. Cooper and his teen daughter Riley are attending a packed concert of one of Riley's favourite artists. Cooper is like all suffering dads having to take their daughter to a concert of which they don't know the music of. So when Cooper begins to notice an increased security presence and police force, he questions what's really going on, and soon finds out that the concert is actually a giant sting operation to capture a sadistic serial killer. And as it just so happens, Cooper is that serial killer. I'm fairly certain that in every review I've ever given of Shyamalan's work, I've sat here and I've gone, I'm pretty hot or cold when it comes to Shyamalan, you know, I'm not fond of all of his films. I've always found his films sounding fantastic in concept, features solid direction, but when it comes to the dialogue, oh boy, does he miss the mark. But there have been a number of occasions where Shyamalan's work has really impressed me. I think my favourite film of his is probably Signs. I think The Visit is arguably his most underrated, and I thoroughly enjoyed his film from last year, that nifty little thriller Knock at the Cabin. Trap, however, does not fall in line with those films that I just mentioned. This is a bad movie. There really is no other way to sugarcoat it. Boasting a great concept by placing a serial killer in an inescapable situation, Trap is weighed down by some of the worst dialogue you will hear all year. It is pure drivel. These characters are either just speaking only in exposition, or they sound like they are a character in a movie. There's no attempt to emulate real life whatsoever. I just don't know how Shyamalan, who has had such a successful career, at this point can still struggle this much writing dialogue. No human being talks like that. Many of these decisions that the characters make are either infuriatingly stupid or wildly illogical. Considering that Cooper's alter ego is the Butcher, a serial killer that I'm presuming has been evading capture for years on end, the moment he faces such a test in this capacity, he completely crumbles. He's got no ability to keep himself cool under the pressure. There is no rhyme or reason to any of his actions, apart from wanting to stir shit up, I guess. Josh Hartnett's performance is a tale of two halves. When he's playing Cooper, the dad who's doing all of those embarrassing dad-related things, I didn't find him all that strong. An argument could be made that that's the point. He's putting on an act, and you're meant to be able to see through it. But I don't think it's as clever as that. I just think that Hartnett's line delivery is substantially poor. But then again, you could have an acting god like Daniel Day-Lewis read these lines of dialogue, and I don't think he'd be able to make them work either. However, though, when Hartnett shifts away from Cooper into the Butcher, that is when his character becomes infinitely more interesting. He's significantly more intimidating, and I just think that there could have been such a cool opportunity to see shades of that earlier in the film. There's his father-daughter dynamic. You could have had something far more interesting take place of Cooper having to wrestle his need to escape and not get caught versus the care that he wants to give his daughter. But most of that emotional arc is squandered. It's never explored to its full potential. Instead, Trap spends a seemingly unending time focusing on the character of Lady Raven, who is the pop star that Riley is obsessed with. Now, she is played by M. Night Shyamalan's daughter, and I've got to be honest, I actually do find it sweet that Shyamalan has taken this film and he's given his daughter a platform to perform. We can see her talent. She's a very good singer. I know that every single film M. Night Shyamalan makes is very personal for him. I'm pretty sure he still funds most of his movies, so he's well within his right to feature whomever he wants. Heck, he has cameos in every single one of his films. In some of the films, he actually has a fairly substantial role. So I cannot fault of him wanting to share this experience with his daughter. But the songs don't add a great deal to this movie. They're not particularly catchy or utilized in a way that it becomes the film's soundtrack. It's just background music. And her involvement in the film grows and grows to a ridiculous level that just stretches every single point of believability imaginable. I won't lie though, there are some thrills to be had watching this. I feel like as an audience member, you do somewhat put yourself in Cooper's shoes, and you think, well, how would I try and escape? What actions would I take to distract a security guard or sneak out undetected? But when the film unveils its final act, that is when Trap should have just handed itself into the authorities. A final act that just drags and drags with no deserved conclusion in sight. M. Night pushes the ball for far too long, and you just end up losing so much interest. Not only that, but the stage was set for a big climactic rug pull that would flip the story on its head and it would reveal something unexpected. I had numerous ideas circling around in my head that could not necessarily win me over to the film, but respect it a heck of a lot more for giving it that extra edge. But in the end, M. Night just opts for the most vanilla ending possible. I'm sorry to say, but Trap falls into M. Night Shyamalan's lesser side of his filmography. It's competently shot, and there is a level of immersivity as you attempt to place yourself in Cooper's shoes, but with artificial sounding dialogue, idiotic characters, and a final act that completely runs out of steam, do yourself a favour and don't get trapped going to see this film. I'm going to give Trap a 3 out of 10. Anyway guys, those were my thoughts on Trap. Let me know, have you had the chance to see the film yet? What did you think? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And my question to you, I would like to know if you could take one of M. Night Shyamalan's films and have it directed by someone else entirely, what film would it be, and who would you choose as the replacement director? But that's all the time we have for today, so thank you very much for watching, make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Hello, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have, make sure to click that like button, and if you aren't already, click that subscribe button too.